Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back for another episode of The Bright Side of Life. You know me. I'm Melissa Bright, and I'm the only one going to be with you today. This is super weird because when I'm doing recording solo episodes, I'm currently recording it in Zoom. So I'm like looking at myself right now. And yeah, anyways, it's just weird where I usually have a guest. So today's topic, we are going to be talking about limiting beliefs. If you guys haven't heard or if you haven't been listening to my podcast for a while, I recently started a coaching business and I am a self worth coach. So, my podcast episodes this year are going to also encompass different themes around self worth to help people with that. And limiting beliefs are probably the biggest thing when it comes to self-worth that needs to be addressed. So I'm going to dissect everything today from what is it, how do these things come about, and at the very end, I am going to I have a surprise for you at the end, um, that you yourself can learn how to break free from these limiting beliefs that have probably been holding you back for all of your life. So let's get started, shall we? All right, all right. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. I'm happy you're here. I just need to look at my notes a little bit. Okay, so what is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is a thought, a repeated thought that you have had over time that you now believe as truth. Um, some big examples are I'm not worthy. Nobody loves me. I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to find a boyfriend. I'll never be able to get my dream job. These are some examples of limiting beliefs. And don't worry, we will dive into many more examples of what they are. But it is any thought that you have repeated over time that you just now believe, you take it as truth. And unfortunately, beliefs trump truth all the time, all the time. And we start living our lives from these beliefs. And that's why we call them limiting, because it is limiting us. It is hindering us. They are keeping us back from doing the things that we want to do, being in the wonderful relationships that we want to be in. So that is what limiting beliefs is. Now, why is it important to address these? It's important because, like I've said 1,000 times already since this episode, these beliefs are going to be these are going to be the things holding you back daily from potential relationships, from money, from better health, from connection with people. I mean, it runs the gamut on how limiting beliefs affect us. Choose an area of your life, it can affect that. Also, if you've never heard of limiting beliefs before, let me change. Have you ever heard of somebody ask you, like, what is the story you're telling yourself? It's basically that. It's these little stories that we tell ourselves over time that we now believe. Um, and I I also want to say that limiting beliefs, okay, I just had a freak out moment thinking I didn't record. I did record. Yay. They do very much feel real. They feel so real. But the problem is we formed these beliefs so long ago, probably as children, that we need to now have new, updated, better, current, accurate information that we can operate from. So many of us as children could have potentially possibly formed the belief that my mom doesn't love me, my dad doesn't love me, my parents don't love me, things like that. And we wind up taking that with us. Now, I also want to say these events that take place in our childhood don't have to be this crazy, super traumatic event for us to start thinking, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, things like that. It could be, oh man, it could be the simplest thing. I'm going to tell you where I formed the belief that my dad didn't love me, or I could never do anything right. I'm not worthy. Things like that. I've trust me, I've formed many beliefs, but the one that my dad didn't love me, I actually did hypnotherapy to change this belief, and I was brought back to the scene where we were at my grandparents' house, and I went to go sit on my dad's lap. I don't know, 5, 6 years old. And my dad was just my hero at that age. Like, he could do absolutely no wrong. And I went to go sit on his lap, and I think, let's say I sat on his lap for 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden he started, it was as if he got annoyed, and he's like, "Okay, okay, like, get off, like, go, 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 get off my lap." I internalized that as, I'm an annoyance. My dad doesn't want to be around me. He doesn't love me. I'm annoying to him. So I take that limiting belief all the way through every single facet of my life, all the way up until 36 years old when I finally addressed where this was coming from. So, was that a super traumatic event? What, did my dad abuse me? No. But the most important thing with limiting beliefs is these aren't based on logic. These beliefs are formed off of feeling. And how did my dad make me feel in that moment? He made me feel like crap. He made me feel like I was annoying. He made me feel like I was, small. I wasn't wanted. I felt rejected. Rejected. That's a big one for me. So, just to give the example, these limiting beliefs don't have to be like something that, has been super traumatic. And also, not all of them have to be formed from childhood. We can form beliefs on it. I can start forming new beliefs today. Um a lot of it comes also from, society. Society puts on the belief, or makes us believe like, oh God, we have to be skinny and we have to be rich and we have to be married, and like, there's so many different so many different things that society can like put pressure on, that we start forming the beliefs, things like that. So let's keep going, shall we? Um, okay, why don't we start talking? I recently had the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful opportunity to interview the incredible Marissa Peer. And if you are not familiar with Marissa Peer, she was a therapist for 30 years, and she created rapid transformational therapy. And now she has thousands upon thousands of therapists teaching the same thing that she has done for her clients, which is, in a nutshell, it is basically, it's a couple different things, but you are like under hypnotherapy, which I did. I did RTT. It wasn't with Marissa, but it was with another RTT therapist. So, anyways, I had the wonderful honor to interview Marissa Peer for a summit that I am a co-host for. And I just found out so much from talking to her. And I was so honored because I am a self worth coach. And this is exactly the stuff that she teaches about. This is what she has helped so much of her clients with. So, in that interview, she told me, and I also have her book, Tell Yourself a Better Lie. That book just recently came out in the last year. So, Tell Yourself a Better Lie. Go get that book. It's incredible. So, between that interview and the book that I am reading, she has said through her thousands and thousands of clients that she's had throughout the years that it boils down to the most common beliefs are usually boiled down to three things. The first one is, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not lovable enough. Anything that has to do with enough that's one of a common beliefs that people form. The next belief that she talks about is that people want something, but it's not available to them. They think it's not available to them. So the example she gives in the book, I want to lose weight, but I have that one gene that can never help me, that I'm just going to be overweight all my life. I want to stop drinking, but my whole family has the alcoholic gene. Um, I want to I want to go to this university, but I'm not smart. So therefore it's not available to me. Like we think for whatever reason, it's not available to us. The third most common belief that she says is I'm different. For whatever reason, you think you're different, therefore you can't get whatever. But a really important thing is when people think they're different, they can't connect with people. They hide, they're shameful, they're embarrassed. I'm just giving, this isn't how I felt, thank God, but I'm 6 feet tall. And when you're 5'10", probably in the sixth grade, you're definitely different. You're taller than all the boys, you're taller than all the girls. That could make me feel different. So therefore I could have isolated myself. You can be different because all of, maybe your race, maybe you're in an all white school or an all black school, or maybe you're the one that is poor and you live in a rich area. Like all these things. I'm different, therefore I can't connect with people. And at our core, humans, that's what we have to do for survival is connection. We want connection so badly. So the three most common beliefs are I'm not enough in whatever form that is. Um, I'm different, so therefore I can't get whatever, or it's not available to me. And in her book, she really does give so many examples of like different clients of how these beliefs take form. So those, if you were to think of a belief that you might be holding, you can probably boil it down to one of those three things. Most of mine, one of my big ones, the biggest one that I've said for a long time, thankfully this is going away, was my mom was a single mom. She was poor, she struggled, so therefore I must struggle, right? It's not money is not available to me because it never has been. My mom didn't have money. Why would I have money? So I carry that belief with me. And how do you think that I'm going to act? Am I going to take actions that I'm going to go get this great job that provides money that I'm not struggling? No, I'm always operating from that belief. So therefore I will have jobs that I'm barely scraping by or something like that. So I'm just giving you an example. Like that the money belief was a huge one for me. So you can see once again money beliefs, relationship beliefs, health beliefs. There are so many different ones. I'm looking at my notes. I'm looking at my notes here. Um, okay. So why don't we try to maybe how can we start identifying our own limiting beliefs? We've talked, you know what they are. You have some examples. How can I start identifying mine? Well, the very first thing you want to do is you want to start reflecting on your experiences. Is there a time you can think right now where you have formed a belief that you looking back on this experience, you can say, oh, I can see why that happened the way it did. Was it a job interview that you really wanted, but for whatever reason, you didn't think you were good enough. So you made the excuse of, oh, sorry, I can't come to this job interview. I was hired somewhere else, something like that. Um, so first of all, looking at your past experiences, another one, a limiting belief. If you hold the belief of, I'm not lovable. Nobody can love me. Or I always attract the wrong type of person. You have to start looking at your beliefs. If you don't believe that you are good enough, that you are worthy of respect, that you are worthy of a healthy relationship, are you going to attract that kind of person? No, you're going to attract a person that treats you like crap, that doesn't respect your boundaries. Um, it's going to be a familiar pattern. Okay. So that kind of takes me into my next point of identifying your limiting beliefs is recognizing patterns of negative self-talk, of your inner critic. These are the beliefs, guys. When all of a sudden you go to check your email and you're like, "Oh my gosh, the job position that I just wanted to open up at work is now there. Like maybe I should apply." And then like right after that, your negative talk comes up and it's like, "Why would you ever think you should apply for that? You're not smart enough. You couldn't get that. You don't deserve that." Recognizing that pattern right there. That is saying, "Oh, I'm not enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable enough." Um, whatever that might be. So recognizing patterns of negative self-talk. I'm really trying to give different examples of different areas of our lives that negative or that limiting beliefs can affect, you know. I gave the one of the relationships. If you don't feel like you're worthy in relationships, who you might attract if you hold those beliefs. If you hold the belief, and now these are big ones, but what happens when you start holding, like, you think maybe a little small belief about something wouldn't be that big of a deal. So say you're an entrepreneur and you want to start, you've started your business, and one of the best ways that you know how to get your business out there is social media. Well, what do you have to do on social media? You have to start making posts. But you have a belief that I'll only be able to get clients when they see my followers are 5,000 and above. So you either, like, that's the belief you're holding. So would you maybe take action in that? Would you be making posts every day, or do you come up with the belief like, "Oh my god, 5,000 followers, that's so far away. Like what's the point?" Like there's little mini steps that you start telling yourself that is going to keep you stuck or hindered. So you hold this belief that you have to have 5,000 followers, or oh my gosh, like I have to show my face. The only way that I'm going to, get clients or be able to sell my product is if my face is in there, and I can't show my face. Like they're going to think I look so stupid. So you have the belief that I'm going to look stupid on camera. So therefore you're not going to take action to put your face on camera. So there's like this trickle effect. So because if you look stupid on camera, how is that going to feel on the inside? That's going to feel like embarrassing, right? You feel like, "Oh my God, across the screen, I'm going to be able to see everybody laughing at me and making fun of me." So you hold the belief about that, or you hold the belief, "Oh my God, I have to have a website before I can ever put any of my stuff out there on social media. I just have to have a website. It has to have all the information before I can start telling people about it." No, you don't. Absolutely not. So you can start looking for proof of, "Oh, I actually heard my other friend, she did something similar, and I don't think she had a website up until like 6 months into her business." But you just have to recognize, how are these limiting beliefs holding you back? Okay. There was another example that I wanted to give. If you think, say you want to lose 50 pounds and you're like, "What's the point? I'm never going to be able to lose 50 pounds." If that is the belief that you are holding, are you going to go and start buying healthy groceries? Are you going to start going out on walks? Are you going to start um, buying weights? Basically, my point is, are you going to start taking the action step if you are holding the belief that I can't lose this 50 pounds? No, you're not. So you have to start addressing the limiting beliefs first. Look back at past experiences, recognize the negative thought patterns, which that is one right there. I could never lose the 50 pounds. Why do you think you should be able to lose 50 pounds? I'm not worth losing 50 pounds. Okay. Um, so maybe another way to identify your limiting beliefs is seeking feedback from others. That is a huge one. We're telling our friends and family stuff all the time, and they hear you talk about yourself and how you're talking about yourself, and they hear you say, "Oh, I heard Melissa say that. She said that she couldn't lose that weight." So maybe there's blind spots that you're having a hard time seeing that maybe somebody else is like, "Yeah, like I can tell you right now." Like where I think you are limiting yourself at. What is the story you keep telling yourself about such and such? Limiting beliefs are just the stories we tell ourselves. Um, yeah. Self-awareness. I preach self-awareness on so many occasions because it's literally the first step. We don't know what we don't know until we know it, right? So you have to be able to. Hell, I didn't even know what the hell limiting beliefs were until when was it? 2.5 years ago. And I'm like, I've never heard that. I was familiar with like the stories we tell ourselves. I was familiar with that. So, yeah, we have to become aware. Today, you're becoming aware of what limiting beliefs are. Now you can go and look back at your personal experiences. Where is somewhere in your life that you wish that you could improve or that you're so freaking sick of dealing with stuff? And ask yourself, what am I telling myself? What am I telling myself that's keeping me here? Don't worry. I'll be talking more about that. Um, Okay, so let's move on to changing limiting beliefs because just because we have a belief does not mean that we can't change these. It's very and very important that we do. How do we do this? We start challenging and questioning these limiting beliefs. Like I said, a lot of these beliefs are formed from when we were very young kids and we took them into adulthood. So a lot of these beliefs can be very childlike and often are. I'm not lovable is a very childlike belief that people hold more than likely because somebody in their childhood made them feel unlovable, and like that's how they interpret it. Like I said, me sitting on my dad's lap, he pushed me off, shooed me off, he seemed annoyed. I internalized my dad doesn't love me, I'm unlovable, I did something. Because we can't see as little kids that maybe my dad was just like needing to get up and like go to the bathroom or something. So in his annoyed voice, he's like, get up. And he just had to go to the bathroom. I don't know. We are so, as little kids, take things very, very, very literal. And we can't see that there could potentially be another option. So kids will always, always internalize it. Um, there is a very popular quote. I forget who it's by, but it's definitely reiterated all the time is when a kid is either neglected, abused, or abandoned, we don't look at the parents. We don't stop loving them. We stop loving ourselves. So this is a perfect example. Like I didn't stop loving my dad because he shooed me away. I started thinking something was wrong with me. I must not be good enough to be able to sit on my dad's lap, or I'm not lovable. So can you trace your limiting belief all the way back to your childhood to maybe a specific event of when you form the belief of I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable enough? Just giving another example, I hate to throw my dad under the bus for all these. But unfortunately my mom was very supportive of me. She wasn't mean to me, unfortunately. Well, it is fortunate, but my dad was just the person that really, really affected me and my limiting beliefs. So don't worry, this is not a bash dad thing. I have forgiven him. I know that he had his own stuff. So please, please don't. I guess what I'm trying to say is we can look back at our childhood and say, yes, mom did this, dad did this. But it doesn't mean like we just have to blame and just like bash them and hate them. I'm also not saying that you might not be holding anger. I was holding anger towards my father for a very, very long time. I have just worked through that. Okay. So I just wanted to caveat that this isn't like bashing my dad. So another example that my dad, a belief that I formed was, first of all, he was really, really hard on me for everything, like picking up sticks. That somehow was not up to my dad's standards of picking up sticks. How is that even a thing? I don't know. You'd have to ask my dad. But um, what? I lost my train of thought because I just looked at myself on my video. So I couldn't pick up sticks right. I couldn't load the wood correctly because we used to have a wood fire stove. Like something was wrong with that. I couldn't sweep up the garage correctly. But a big one that I will never forget was I was playing basketball and I think I was in, God, third or fourth grade. And this was in Tennessee when I lived with my dad for a short time. And I come home and he brings me into his bedroom and proceeded to tell me every single thing I did wrong during that during that game. So I'm like really feeling like shit about myself. I don't think he gave me one good thing that I did. So once again, I internalize, man, I'm just always messing up. I can't do anything right. I suck. Like I don't deserve to be a basketball player. Whatever I started to believe about myself. And for a long time, since my dad was just always down my freaking throat about anything I did, that is where like the perfectionism. I have to be perfect so my dad approves of me. I have to be perfect so I don't get rejected by my dad. I have to be perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So people with perfectionism, yeah, this is where this stuff can stem from. So what else? Okay. So replacing negative thoughts with more empowering ones. First step, I always said, like, the awareness is the first step. So if you have awareness of, like, okay, I just saw at my job they're letting people apply for this new position. And this is just the position that I have dreamt about forever. And then once again, you thought, who am I to apply for this? I would never get it. Somebody else would probably get it. Like this is definitely coming from a belief that I'm not good enough. So you have an awareness. You're like, wait a minute. I know what this is. This is my negative self-talk. This is my inner critic trying to convince me that I'm not good enough. And that's not true. I deserve to go apply for that position just like anybody else. I am worthy of a new job. I am worthy of a new title, things like that. So we have to stop ourselves when these negative thoughts come up because once again, these repeated thoughts, that's where your beliefs are happening. So you have to replace a negative thought with a new empowering one of course I'm worthy. Of course I'm smart enough to get this. It doesn't have to be this outlandish, like if it's not believable to you, it can be like, I'm smart enough. I am very capable for this job position. I see everything that they're requiring. I know that I am capable. You know, you don't have to be like Elon Musk and be the smartest person in the world to apply for the position that you're applying for, right? So make it believable to you, okay? Self-compassion. Um Techniques for reframing beliefs. Okay. This is where I have been using a belief busting script for the last 2.5 years that has helped me address many, many, many limiting beliefs. So I'm going to take you through two questions that I, first of all, use on myself. Second of all, it's helped me so much that I started using it with my clients. So the script is taking you through a series of questions. And the whole reason for doing this is one, to of course create awareness, two, to replace the belief with a new empowering belief. Um and to get rid of this. So the very first question that I always ask is, what is the belief? What is the belief that you are currently holding that you are wanting to change and address and work on? And then the second question is, what is the benefit of buying into this belief? Now, this is a really, really important one. If it takes you some time to think about, if you need to journal this particular question out, I highly, highly suggest that you do that, because you're going to find some oh shit moments when you realize why you are buying into that belief. Now, I don't want to give it away of like what you'll usually discover. I really want to leave that up to you, the individual, to do that, but it's going to be an aha moment. If I buy into the belief that I'm not lovable, what is the benefit of that? Well, the benefit is it kind of keeps me safe. I don't have to go out there and try to find somebody to date because I'm not lovable. So why would I go out there and try to date somebody? It keeps me safe. It keeps me from having to put myself out there. It keeps me from rejection. It keeps me from getting my feelings hurt, right? So I promise you, there is always a benefit to these limiting beliefs that your mind makes up. Um, and then when you realize, holy crap, this belief has been holding me back, I don't want to believe this anymore. You know, that's actually not a benefit. It was at one point maybe helping me keep safe and keep me from being rejected. But no, man, I'm ready to get out on the dating scene. Like I'm gonna get rid of that and get a new one. So first question is, what is the belief that you believe in the first place? And second one is, what is the benefit of buying into this particular belief? The rest of the script, if you would like it, is actually in my show notes right now. You can download it. It's absolutely free, and it takes you through a series of questions. I think it's 8 or 9 questions where it'll have you addressing all these beliefs. It will have you change these beliefs in creating a new, empowered, updated belief that you can start operating from, right? So that belief busting script is in the show notes, and I highly, highly recommend that you go get it, because this is anytime that I see that I'm operating from a belief that I'm like, oh shit, that's been holding me back, I go to this script. And so many, it's so much awareness, and you will just start seeing stuff. You will start seeing self-sabotaging behaviors. You will start seeing procrastination behaviors. Like, do you know procrastination? The whole reason why we procrastinate is because we potentially don't want to disappoint ourselves when whatever happens. Like, you procrastinate, you put it off. I don't want to say it's the whole, like, people, I don't want to say it's the whole reason, but a big reason why we procrastinate is because we do not want to disappoint ourselves. If I think I'm not worthy of having clients for my coaching business, I will procrastinate. I won't put myself out there on social media. I won't do my emails that I need to do, because this keeps me from being disappointed in the future, right? Or I can just, like, it's a delayed like disappointment is basically what I'm trying to say. The same things with self-sabotage. If we don't think that we're worthy of love, if we don't think we're worthy of money, if we don't think that we're worthy of health, we're going to self-sabotage in any given way because we don't even think we're worthy of it. This is why checking the limiting beliefs has to be first. You have to change the belief before the action. You can try the action route that you want to try to will yourself into whatever, running a marathon or losing the 50 pounds or going after the job. But there is more than likely, potentially, you are going to self sabotage at some point because you are still operating from the belief that you weren't even good for the job or good to lose the weight, any of that. So that's why it's so important. Um, okay. I'm trying to think there's anything that I have left out. Um, I don't think there's anything I left out. I cannot reiterate how important this is for you. This is definitely my favorite session that I get to work with clients on because they just have these oh shit awareness moments. And that is where transformation comes from because as soon as you have that aha moment, then the next question is, okay, now what do I do with said information? What do I do with this now that I know the truth about whatever limiting belief you're holding? That's where transformation comes from is the awareness, the aha moment, and then okay, now what am I going to do with this new information? And then here is the new belief and now I can start operating from a new belief, a new better empowered one. And I could talk about this all day, but so many of us, if we have not done any healing or growth work, we are operating at like it is old software programming that we have been doing all our life. And you have every opportunity in the world today to start changing these beliefs that you're worthy, that you are lovable, that you can achieve this, that money can be part of your life and it doesn't have to be a struggle. All these things, you can change all of these beliefs. You just got to address them and become aware of that you're even operating from this place now. And then you get a new operating system, which is the new beliefs, the more empowering beliefs. And you start acting in alignment with those, and your life will start changing. And you will be like, oh my gosh, now that I believe that I'm lovable, now I'm going to go on a date. And now I have a potential of like finding love in the future. Now that I feel worthy, I'm going to go try and apply for that job, or I'm going to go run that marathon, or I'm going to start losing weight. Um, I don't know why I keep giving the same like 5 examples. My brain's just not working that fast, but it really, really is a beautiful thing. So, um, this is pretty much it for this episode. Guys, I highly encourage you to go get my belief busting script. It's awesome. It will help you change the beliefs. And I want to ask you if you do the script, please reach out to me, email me on my website, find me on social media if you follow me on social media. And if you have an oh shit aha moment of when you're doing this script, I want to know because this is literally my favorite part. Like, it's my favorite part when I'm doing it myself and I'm like, holy crap. And you're like, yes, okay, now I can do something different. So let me know because I want to hear about all your aha, oh shit moments. I just literally named it that. Aha moments or oh shit moments, and they're great, great moments. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope this was super helpful. I hope you go right now and you start working on these limiting beliefs because they're holding you back and you are so worthy and so deserving. It is your mother effing birthright to be worthy. Like you are worthy of everything that you desire in this lifetime just by the fact that you exist on this damn planet. You don't got to do anything in terms of like, oh, I got to accomplish this and I have to have this amount of followers and I have to be this certain weight and I have to look like this. Nope. You're already worthy. But we got to do this work that I just told you about the limiting belief. So that's it. I'm going to step down from my soapbox. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week and I'll see you soon. Bye.